And we're live on the internet. So picking up from last time, and it's been a bit, so I will do a pretty big drop back for you guys. Drop back? Up, I don't, whatever you want to call it. So last time around, you guys had,
not retcon.
Yes, no retconning here. You guys had finally departed the city of Break with your militia in tow to go free the city of Haspurr. You decided to do this based on a wide variety of different factors, but primarily because the thing that's happening down to the south of the city of Break that might be weird, might be crazy, who knows, seems pressing, but less pressing than saving Nyx's family. So after meeting with your quote-unquote ally, the current Jarl, also known as Phaedra's brother, you guys took off from the city and headed northwest. Along the way, you found a abandoned town with one crazed resident in it who gave you some information that proved useful. There was a group of people matching the description of one of the members of the order, the Black Dragonborn, Corin Dawnhammer, dragging, along with some other fellows who were unidentifiable, dragging a chained dwarf behind them. You had spoken to a cartographer within your militia who had mentioned that she had received a map of the mines of Haspurr from a dwarven. A dwarf had come in to order the map done. Putting two and two together, you guys think that something might be happening there, but you're not sure what yet. You then continued on. After 2 days of marching, snow set in, kind of leading the third day of March to go slower. But due to the speed and pace you guys had done over the first 2 days, by evening, Haspurr was in sight, about 20 miles away. You all camped for the evening, and upon doing some rounds, Aramil noticed some odd piles of snow in between you guys and Haspurr. You all investigated, sure enough, to find some kobolds, not lying in wait, more sleeping in wait in the middle of this snow-covered field for reasons you have not figured out yet. You all brutally murdered some kobolds and captured one to bring back with you, which is where we pick up. You guys are returning to camp with Carter, the head of the archers, with you as well. They went along on your little adventure to go murder some kobolds. So they have watched you murder some kobolds. And Trev is currently carrying a unconscious, unbound kobold. And that's where we pick up from there.
Okay.
Sucky kobolds.
You did tell those kobolds to suck it. What would you like to do?
I mean, is he awake and stuff now?
No, he is still very unconscious.
Okay. I was gonna say, ask him some questions, but if he's not conscious, that won't get very far.
I mean, I can wake him up if.
Is there any water near us?
Nicely, Phaedra.
No.
If we need to talk.
Can I use shape water on snow?
You can. I do appreciate the fact that we're just going to ignore the fact that Nyx just yelled at Phaedra to do it nicely.
So,
yep. If you want to wake him up nicely, go ahead. I was going to hit him with a snowball.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yeah, hit him
or at least undo it and bucket of water.
Snowball.
No.
Is that in canon? Did Aramil say snowball?
All of this is in canon.
yeah, absolutely.
Yay.
Who were you talking about? Of course we did.
I just meant like I would do like a medicine check or him or something to like,
Yeah, you could do so. Roll a medicine check.
Okay.
Well, I definitely want us to be seen carrying this thing back in by our soldiers and like let them pass a word that we kick some ass and that
you could not be more noticeable if you tried.
Good.
Between 4 of you walking on top of the piles of snow and 2 of you trudging long trenches behind you.
Modified
20.
Snowball. So modified 20. He's just unconscious. Got hit in the head. Is dazed and kind of out of it. Probably just a light healing spell, or even just a smack to the face would probably wake him up. Trev, I will remind you, you are the one holding the small scaly man, so
Sure.
do as you wish.
I mean, just shake him awake if that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Sure.
You guys want to do it?
He's tied up, right?
He is not. Right now, he is not.
Oh, we should probably restrain him first.
Grab some rope and
Sure.
Yeah.
You hog tie him up and kind of. Do you want to put him inside a tent, or do you just want to do this in the air?
In the air? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like outside.
Okay.
Let's go in a tent, I guess.
let's do it.
Okay. You guys find one of the empty tents. Hell, you just bring them back to your own personal tent. Nicely set up with some bedrolls and some, nice little spot. Time to a chair. Bound up his legs, bound up his hands, and then Trev just sort of gently jostles him a little bit to see, and you hear a small, but the eyes don't quite flip back yet.
Take him more?
What language does this thing speak? Do we know?
Yes, Phaedra knows. She did some research on kobolds previously. They speak Common, Draconic, and Yip Yak,
Which is like the kobold language, right?
which is kobold language.
Ah, okay. All right, so it should not.
I have
Is
not
that
had that
Yip
my-
Yak or Yip Yak?
Yip Yak.
Cool.
I've not taken my.
What is that echo?
Yip yak.
Ooh, yeah, Morgan, you're getting some serious echo. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Craig.
Sorry.
Craig was saying something when I cut him off. Sorry.
It's all good. I can just shake him again to try and get him to wake up a little bit.
Okay, you shake him a little bit harder. He just sort of like a. You get a very light little. I'm trying to sleep.
Bucket of water. Bucket of water. Bucket of water. I've done it. I'm tired. He's awake.
All yours.
I'm throwing a snowball at him.
Yep.
Okay.
I am at this point shape watering on the snow into a mass of a shape of a bucket of water, and then saying, "Wake up!" and then dumping.
Okay. You roll a wild magic surge. As this bucket of water or bucket equivalent amount of water hits the oh boy, that echoes crazy.
Yeah, where's it coming from?
It's Morgan.
Is it me?
Oh yeah. The bucket kind of splashes over this thing and it just sort of like it just starts like pulling against, trying to like get the water off itself, but it can't quite do it because it's all bound down. It is a white and blue scaled kobold. Looks to be probably on the young side, but not like a child. Whatever like teenage adolescence looks like for a kobold, probably about that age. As it sort of like rides around, its eyes sort of flip in, and you can see, two eyes with slitted pupils, almost cat-like. That's sort of something kind of fixed within the room, and it just shrinks a bit, and then goes, I don't know nothing.
I haven't asked you anything yet.
And I don't know it.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Should I waste a spell slot on him, or?
Let's try this first.
Talk to him yet before we use
Yeah.
it spells.
Okay, just let me know. I've got command and suggestion, and I don't think I have zone of truth on me. No, but I have those two.
Okay, so he's awake.
Yep.
So, the information we're looking for really is just kind of why they were there, right? Is that what we kind of are trying to
Well, that and more information about the dragon.
Hmm.
All right, well, let's start with why he was out there.
Okay.
Okay. I'll pull up a chair, put it right in front of him, sit down across from him, and start nice.
Okay. He's just sort of the fear is palpable.
Okay.
If kobolds could
start out with-
sweat, he'd be covered.
Yeah. I'll start out with listen. You saw what we did to your comrades. Now you have two options. One is that you talk with us, answer our questions truthfully, because we'll know, and tell us everything we ask you, and then we'll let you go. Now, if you don't, what happened to your comrades is going to be kind compared to what we're going to do to you.
Roll an intimidation check.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I don't mind being the bad guy.
I like how you said we're going to start nice and then immediately dovetailed into that.
That is side being nice.
Fate worse than death.
Yeah.
Sure.
So thank God I have advantage on this. So a 25.
Okay. What was your first roll?
With my thing, I rolled a 4, so a 14.
Nice. So the 25, it sort of like looks back at you and just goes, I can be honest, I guess.
Well, that's good. That's good. So what were you and your comrades doing in that field when we found you?
Sleeping.
Okay.
That's fair. That's a fair answer, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So why did you go there in the first place?
We were told.
Okay.
Told what?
We were told to go there.
By?
By who?
A big lizard.
What kind of lizard?
Yeah, what color was this lizard?
Blue, like me. We just sort of like shimmies
Only-
a bit.
Was it a dragon?
Maybe
Did it have?
Was it about the size of this guy? And I point at Trev.
bigger.
Like
Did it have wings?
big? Yeah.
It did have wings, yeah.
Okay. Fucking hell.
So I'm
Did it
assuming
give you a name?
Did it give me a name? My name's Skronk.
I'm gonna
Skronkowski.
pull up my sword and just place it next to me.
You said honest to being honest.
he did just tell you
Listen.
his name.
You're gonna need focus, and we're gonna need details. Okay.
Somehow
You do that?
I doubt this guy is going to be a detail-oriented guy. But all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
Really push
I
the
just wanna-
limits of this 6 intelligence here.
Come on, it. All right.
Gronk, dude.
How many more of you are there?
Big numbers.
Big.
Great. All right.
My pod had 5. I guess they're dead though, but we were 5.
How long have you been in the area?
Like, oh, I actually have to think.
I gave Gary a question.
Sounds like yeah.
Real quick, are people getting an echo off of me anymore? Can you hear me still?
I can
No,
hear you.
I don't hear Nico.
Okay,
Go.
good.
Yeah. Very good.
I just got headphones in, that's all. Also, I wild surged for you, Gary. It's in your DMs.
Thank you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Let me pull that up.
It's really more interesting than anything.
Oh, it's my favorite kind of wild magic surge is the interestings. Okay.
Continue what you're doing. We can resolve this after. Yeah.
All right, we'll resolve.
I imagine
that in a
now,
minute.
Gary. I imagine that this just falls from the sky.
We'll resolve that in a minute.
That's what I think. So yeah.
That's.
Okay.
I'm going a slightly different direction, but maybe.
Okay.
So he Skronk kind of thinks about it and goes, "Well, I don't numbers real good, but most
How long
Okay.
do kobolds live for?
kobolds could live for like 150 years. They mature very quickly. Probably between 3 to 5 years to reach like full maturation.
And this one's not quite full maturation.
It's like right on the barrier.
Okay.
Okay. We picked a good
Yeah. How are the gnomes of Haspurr?
The what?
The people in the town that you took over.
Smaller words.
I was going to say we need smaller concepts
I-
for this guy.
Point to Nick and say, like her.
Oh, the pointy smooths.
Yeah.
The what?
Woof.
He, as best he can with his hands tied, he gestures at his ear holes and then his scales and says, "Pointy smooths."
Pointy smooth?
20 years.
20 ears, smooth skin.
But wouldn't
Yes,
that also make? But wouldn't Aramil also like?
Tall, pointy smooth.
All right.
You are
great.
pushing this kid.
Oh.
This is some you think they named oranges before they named carrots shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay.
Drunk, I have a question. What has your giant lizard friend been up to in this town? Like, what is he doing?
Well, he makes some of us dig for shinies, he makes some of us collect shinies, and he makes some of us murder.
Murder? Who?
What do you murder?
Well, I was on the murder team. I was told to come out here and murder.
So,
Like if one comes, or to specifically go and find somebody to murder?
Anything that did not have scales or were pointy smooths.
Okay.
so is there a lot of shiny stuff?
So much shiny.
Yeah. So what does the giant lizard guy do while you're doing this? He's just chilling.
He eats. He occasionally electrocutes.
That's
Or-
information.
That's too big a word for him. He occasionally sparky zaps.
I mean,
Um,
I thought occasionally was the word you were going to take an issue with. Let's just say that you're automatically translating into
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's hard to be this dumb. Apologies.
Good, Scrawny. Thanks, Bam. You've been amazing.
You're welcome. Can I go?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We still have questions. So,
We're probably gonna murder you.
pointy smooths. Are they healthy? Are they safe?
Well, none of us are allowed to eat them.
Good. How about the big lizard? Does he eat them?
No,
Okay,
big
good.
lizard eats bears.
He's bear.
Oh no.
Oh no. Shouldn't have said that.
Let's go.
Rage mode activated.
No. We finally have a motivation for it. No, because if you capturing people or has mixed family hostage because he eats bears.
I've never seen him more intent on murder. I'm pretty sure that bears were eaten.
Arno
Here,
now
let me
is like
see.
brooding, like back and forth, like furious. You know.
This is why I feel like Ryan is almost in character.
This dragon done fucked up now.
Yeah. End of the
Pissed
line
off the
now.
wrong elf.
So where to go? We're gonna have a side quest about rescuing some bears.
Don't plant the idea in there.
If I leave them, the bears will rise up.
So yeah, Skrulk looks at you with an eye and goes, "Yeah, bears make tasty."
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
Armil, I got this one. And then I shape of water a snowball into his face.
Hey!
That's what you get. That's what you get.
yeah, okay.
I don't know how I would even begin to explain he's a vegetarian to a kobold.
That concept is so wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to know from this little thing?
I don't think so.
So we know that his boss is directly the lizard. The lizard will happy damage.
Oh.
That the gnomes, besides being in an occupied city, are okay. That they're shiny stuff from the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that you take orders from, like somebody who helps
That's what I was gonna ask.
the big dragon?
Yeah, he calls himself Grunts.
Grutz?
Grunts.
Is that
Describe them.
familiar to us at all?
No.
Okay.
Describe Grits.
He looks
Well, it's
like,
kind of like a.
but big with wings,
Like
like the
wait.
lizard.
Oh, so there's two.
No. Like he looked like me,
He
but
looks-
big. with wings.
About this guy's
Oh,
size, and I point to Trev again.
Smaller.
Okay.
I would know that that's a variety of kobold, right?
You would, and you actually killed some of them as well.
Yeah, some of the
Okay.
some of the winged ones.
Yeah.
How about bigger than Groots that look kind of like you, but not the same?
There was that one lady. She was
minor
weird.
illusion. What your name looks like in
Corin?
front of her.
Yeah. He looks at it and goes, "I have seen her, but I don't take orders from her. She has a big hammer."
Is she still there?
No, I don't think. Not sure.
Okay.
Wait, who is this?
Funhammer. The black dragonborn.
Oh, right. Okay, Heather.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather's memory was.
Yep.
Could not remember who that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, are there any others like her there? 'Cause I think we were told that there were dragonborn.
It's probably. I don't know. If
He shakes his head and goes, "I only saw her and the beardy one."
oh, the dwarf.
The beardy one.
They took a dwarf. Remember?
Yeah, short, smooth skin beard.
Okay.
Where did short skin move beard go?
I know your brain broke up.
Now, I'm gonna take some liberties here. I'm gonna assume that's Aramil trying to speak Yip Yak.
Yep. It's just
Cover just not saying words in order.
No one else is saying anything.
it's just straight up Aramil just like meets the intelligence of the room. Like it's like you played to the caliber of your opponents, sort of thing.
Oh my
Oddly enough, that's the thing that made the most sense to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks at you, Aramil, and goes, "Brought him to the big lizard."
Is
he still there?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't go see the big lizard very often. I don't want to get zapped.
Yeah.
Happy
that's it.
Oh, you're a smart one for your species.
I have self-preservation.
Fair enough.
Strong.
Doesn't know about vegetarians, but is extremely aware of self-preservation and the concepts therein.
I have some bad news for you, though.
Jeez.
Holy shit. Oh, are there any other murder parties out here?
Yeah, tons.
question. That's a good question.
Okay. Are they close?
No.
Okay. Which way did they go? I don't expect you to.
He gestures at his tied hands.
That's fair. Okay. As soon as it came out, I knew it was a dumb question. All right. Anybody else want something out of this guy?
I think that's the important stuff.
Oh. And while he's not intelligent, has he been truthful?
You don't think he's smart enough to lie.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of what I'm
No,
getting.
he's
Yes,
very well versed in
self-preservation.
the concepts of self-preservation. He may know how to lie.
No. He heard that word somewhere once and thinks it's fancy.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, Strong.
Okay.
Can I go?
You wait there 1 second.
Okay.
Put my sword back and say, gather everybody kind of away from Strong. And be like,
He starts whistling.
we can't just like let them walk around. So I have a plan.
Oh no.
Is it kill him? Because I
Is
don't
it-
know.
I assume it's
I like-
follow.
Are you going to take out his kneecaps?
No.
These
You
are
said
fair.
you can't walk. That's
So-
all you said.
These are fair
I
questions.
Like, we can kill him,
Just kill him. Just kill him.
but I don't want to. I'm trying to be better.
What if we follow him?
Like, have him lead us back.
Yeah, like just trail behind him.
I mean, I think we know where
We
we're
know
going.
where
We
we're
know where we're
Yeah.
going.
Kill this guy. Let him go.
Well, why can't we just let him go?
Because he bears Emily.
He doesn't.
I mean,
He said,
However dumb he is, he would anything that he might tell anyone is bad for us.
Yeah.
That's
I
Agreed.
can
he eats bears.
just put him in the demi-plane where he will be relatively safe and unharmed. And then we can release him at a later date.
I could take him to a demi-plane out back and take care of it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I know about a really nice farm and a demi-plane, so I'm not too far away from you.
Go ahead, Trev.
I mean,
We don't have to do that. I know that would be not okay for a lot of people, but I really don't want him ratting us out.
I know.
I understand that.
I feel bad.
Hey, wait a minute. Can we just take a moment to realize that this is also the one that was banished into another dimension already? Like,
That he was.
just send it back. Just put it back. He's fine.
holy shit.
I don't know. I understand that. I get it. I just don't like it. Maybe Nyx will just leave.
Honestly, it's because of Nick that I'm not just for him outright. Like, I'll just send him away. I'll just put him somewhere. We'll throw him here or something.
Look, here's
For like a day or two.
To murder like way more
I
kobolds
know.
than this guy. So
Right, there's a difference between like fighting openly and then just murdering a tied up prisoner.
Yeah, unarmed man.
all right, so we can release.
Yeah.
I have 2 arms.
We can release him to the horde of kobolds and then murder him anyways. Like, let's just move on.
Hey, I mean, if we let him go, who's to say he might tell the other kobolds, like, these guys let me go? I
Problem
doubt
is
that
him
much,
telling the other kobolds that we let him go, and then they know an army's on the way.
I can tell them I killed you all.
We believe you.
Maybe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you saying that he won't tell?
I won't tell nothing.
You
Is
already
he lying?
said that to us, and then you told us everything.
That's true.
I mean, no, he's not lying because he just said a double negative.
Yeah. Okay. You'll tell them everything. Okay. Bastard.
I don't know what I would even tell them, to be honest with you. Oh, big, scary smooth skins coming with big swords. Pfft, you're all going to get eaten by a lizard.
Okay. I snap my
Well-
fingers, cast a plane under him, and he just drops into a different plane. And I
Gone.
close the door.
How long do you keep him there?
Indefinite until I open the door again.
Did you untie him?
No,
Oh.
but I dropped him from high enough that the tear should shatter.
Oh, great. All right.
Oh,
Good to
my
know.
God. 50
He'll
bucks
be
says
fine.
we all
Hang
forget
on.
about this dude.
Yeah, we're gonna do this guy. Yeah.
He'll be fine.
It's either that, or by the time we get him back, he's gonna be dead. Like,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
harmless
no.
demi-planes include sustenance.
Yeah.
yeah.
It can include pretty much anything I want it to.
Send them to the cupcake plane.
Okay.
I'm
It's not
flying
like-
it on the cupcake plane.
It's got only vegetables, so he can learn about being a vegetarian.
Oh, that sounds like
Oh.
hell for a meat eater.
After all this
Oh,
time,
no.
I'll jump in after him,
They are an
cut him
omnivore.
open.
But how high was the fall?
It was only like 5 feet.
Oh, okay. That was not enough to break the chair. He is still very much tight.
And I'll go in after him,
Okay.
cut him loose,
Okay.
tell him, just point him and say, stay, and then leave.
I like it here.
Good. It looks like a cave, but it's lit
He's,
without
it's lit.
distinct light
he's,
sources.
he's happier than a pig in shit. Like, he's great.
Cool. All right. And then
You now have a kobold and a Pokeball.
cool. I will raise him and train him.
Oh, boy.
His
Well-
name is Rattata.
Skronk the Rattata.
Gronk there.
cut
This
it
is gonna, you're going to see more of him someday.
Great.
Meanwhile, while you're all, dealing with the Skronk situation, you do hear some footsteps kind of shuffling outside the tent. And after, Skronk has been banished and there's kind of a beat of, okay, a gentleman picks his head into the tent and goes, I have a letter here for Marleman Ocean Wrangle?
Marlon, I didn't know you had a cousin.
Ocean Wrangle.
Oh, that's it. Nope, that's it.
You're never gonna live that one down, buddy.
Nope. I raised my hand. You mean Ocean Wrath?
Sounds about right.
It's a digitation over his head.
I was waiting for you to be like,
pointing
sir, it actually says Ocean Wrangle.
You get the feeling that this guy might not be able to read and was just told to deliver a letter to someone with a name.
Okay, I take the letter.
It is addressed to a Marleman sea battle, and is a really detailed and interesting letter about how you had a rich uncle somewhere who, after your family put you up for adoption, has now died and has left everything to you. A keep, like a ton of money, some horses with stables, and just the whole thing. They just need your gold pouch information.
Mm-hmm. Is there another one from a Nigerian?
Who delivered this?
The runner just left.
I was gonna say, I grabbed the runner by the collar and I say, "Who sent this?"
No, he is gone.
Okay.
Marlon, you better do it.
No.
I mean, I have more important things to do, and also,
like, this letter is detailed. It talks about your birth name, like the color of your mom's hair, like the fact that you hated fishing until you were 4, and then you really fell in love with it. The family made their money on sea trawlers, so fishing was sort of the family thing. But it is richly detailed up until you go missing.
What the fuck is this?
Is this
Magic.
Gary DM? I'm gonna need
is
you
this
to read
magical?
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. I don't know that.
Yes, I'm reading the DM. I see it.
No. I mean, I was gonna say, you, the DM, read it out loud.
Oh, I'd have to write it, dude. I don't have that.
I mean, what the number was.
Oh, sorry. 0901. Caster finds a possibly inaccurate chronology of his entire life.
Oh, that's okay.
But I don't know that. We don't know that.
I don't know that. No.
Does it say what my real birth name is?
Your real birth name was Marleman Sea Battle.
All right, let me just change my character sheet.
I like Ocean Wrath better.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna definitely be mine's better. Does it say what my parents are my parents alive? They're dead? They're dead.
Very dead.
Okay.
It seems like you're the last living heir for this entire fortune.
And how many golds do they need?
They need approximately 50 gold to start the process of transferring the gold to you. They need to open an account, basically, in your name, and there needs to be a deposit.
Right.
And they can't access that
ATM
money.
Machine.
Basically. It's a transaction fee. But you'll get it back. It'll be sitting in the account for you once you
totally.
access to it.
Totally. Let me just check something real quick.
This is the dumbest bullshit. We've gone from he eats bears to fantasy scams where all your dreams come true.
I was just imagining other rip-off names of Ocean Wrath, but the best one I could come up with was Pond Scuffle.
Oh my gosh.
That's the gnome version.
Okay.
Lake Anger.
Is there any information on how I should send them my 50 gold?
There's a return letter.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, pre-labeled and ready to go.
I stuffed 50 gold in there.
Drop it at your nearest courier service. Okay.
Oh, they sent you an SASE? What the fuck?
All right, mark 50 gold gone, and
I did.
I already did. Yeah, you send this along. You
fully knowing that I will never see it ever again.
Yes,
I know this. Marleman in 2 adventures from now is going to be I should just quit and retire to my stable and farm.
Theoretically, if you mark one of the coins in such a way, I could always scry on it later to see where it goes.
My
Yo, I wanna
favorite
see
part
that.
about this is if this ever were accurate, knowing how many things on that fucking wild magic table refer to the caster's home. And like, even if it's all true, by the time you get there, who knows?
Who knows what's going to be left? Yeah.
I did. So a
Rubble.
peek behind the DM screen. When Morgan sent me that, I did roll a d20. 10 or above was for, 11 or above was for true. 11 or 10 and below was for very fake. I'm not going to tell you what it rolled.
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't need to know that roll number.
Nope.
I'm fully satisfied with the amount of money and gold I'm throwing at this
And it is gone. It is in the wind.
bullshit nonsense that I will never remember.
So, you all
Although, hold on,
watch
wait.
that happen.
I am going to add that letter to my inventory, though.
You do have it.
One, let's see, we'll call it, I'll write it down. Don't worry about it.
Okay. You all watch that happen and have now banished a kobold to a demiplane. What would you like to do with the rest of your evening?
How far are we from Haspurr?
Up somewhere between 15 and 30 miles. It's hard to tell in the snow.
So like a day or two away?
No, like a half a day's march, maybe.
Oh, half it. Okay. So... What was the plan again?
I think we were.
Going murder.
Yeah, we were staying here for the night and took care of what we thought was an ambush, which I guess would have been an ambush if we kept going. And then I think we were gonna finish walking to the place in the morning.
But were we gonna have everyone come, or were we gonna scout ahead a little, like not have the whole army?
I mean, if I remember correctly, I am like always scouting ahead, kind of.
Yeah, you and Armel have been doing so for the
I
most
think
part.
we said that.
I just meant like our group in general is like gonna be slightly ahead of the army. So we're not.
Well, the reason we had seen them was because we were scouting ahead.
Right.
No, you saw these guys because Armel was doing some late night scouting of the camp itself.
Right.
You just happened to notice some dunes essentially in the distance.
Okay.
I feel like we go with our army, and that's like once the army starts battling all the kobolds, we break off to go fight the dragon. I thought that was like the best idea. I'm not a tactician though. Probably like the army leader.
Ooh. I just
Yeah,
noticed that D&D Beyond allows me to roll my stuff now. That's cool.
It does.
Yeah.
So if you click on each of the stats, then it'll roll and automatically add that stat to it.
Nice.
Neat.
Very neat.
So, to answer that, I think we should just stay here for the night, keep watch, and then let's get on tomorrow. How many days out from Haspurr are we?
We're half a day away.
Okay. So, in the morning is going to be getting it on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
hang on. Right, were we going to go in with the army, or were we going to send the army and attack the dragon while they were distracted? I forget what. It's been so long.
You guys had debated both sides of this, and I don't believe it come down to a solid decision. If memory serves, you guys were split pretty 50-50 on that as well. Of some of you guys wanted to just kind of go for it and split off and whatnot. The other half of you, I believe it was Nyx, Armel, and Phaedra, wanted to go in first, be ready to make a run for where the dragon is when the army hit. But it's up to you guys to make one final decision.
Oh, we have the map, don't we?
You do have the map of the mines.
Is there any way that can get us like around so that way we can attack from like the rear while the army attacks from the front?
I mean, Through a combination of factors, yes. You have a Nyx who could very easily kind of scoot you in a back way, away from a main door where an army would be attacking. And then you have the map to take you into the mines itself to try and figure out where the dragon might be holed up.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
But it is up to you guys, whichever direction you want to go. If you want to go in, swords drawn with your army and then break off from there, you can. If you want to, perhaps move tonight and then, you guys alone could very easily walk from where you are to Haspurr in 3-4 hours or so. It's just it would take longer with a big ass army behind you.
Right.
So here's an important question I have. What are the actual odds that our army can actually defeat the kobolds?
I mean, roll a intelligence check with advantage.
It depends on the number of kobolds.
Because Trev is here as well and can also lend his experience with this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Intelligence. I don't think also. Okay. Well, I get a 0 modifier, so I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Hey!
Dang.
And a 12. So all right.
Again, a lot of it does depend on how many kobolds are in there, and without knowing the exact number, kind of impossible to make a solid foot in the sand sort of decision. But you and Trev have done a really, really good job training these guys. They've come a long way in just under a week. And as such, you feel good that if it was just kobolds, they could probably take 3 to maybe even 3,500 kobolds easy. And then any amount after that, might be still a victory, but a little bit more
Pyrrhic.
Yeah, not even Pyrrhic. But on the other hand, if that dragon was to make any amount of move towards your militia, it would be over in a minute. Not to say that your men aren't trained or they aren't capable, but the concept of fighting a fully grown ancient dragon in the sky is a death knell for everything you guys are doing.
So
if that dragon is allowed to move, you realize it's over before it begins.
So if we can get in and distract the dragon, I can always message one of the commanders to tell them to enter the city and then know safely that we're engaging the dragon, and then that way we can try and keep it occupied.
Yeah. We have the ability to send our commanders a message or whoever we leave in charge.
Exactly.
So if we get into position, if we have them get into position and then attack somewhat simultaneously, we'll be able to take the dragon, they'll be able to take the army. And ideally everything goes well.
It just depends on where we're entering from and if we can get to the dragon before it leaves the mines.
How difficult does the traveling through the mines look?
It's complicated. It's a series of mines that have been around for a very long time, so there are a number of different offshoots, but the map you have is pretty well detailed. It's pretty well organized as well. And just kind of looking at it and, sort of piecing it together, you already have a pretty good sense of the size of area where this dragon would probably make its lair.
Okay.
So it's difficult, but with the benefit of the map, you guys could probably puzzle it out.
Do we know that the dragon is down there, though?
We're pretty certain it seems.
I mean, the kobold said it was in the
Based
mines.
on what the kobold has said.
The
and-
kobold said he was down there?
Well, the kobold said he hasn't seen him in a while, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
I mean,
He's just chilling in his lair and sending out his minions to do it.
yeah, if it'll get comfortable. Yeah.
He's not like walking the streets, you know. Like,
I mean, it is also a dragon, or it is a type of dragon that is known for wanting to be underground. It is a burrowing type of dragon. So,
I think it's a safe bet at that point.
All right, so we send our army in the morning, but we go tonight and try and find the dragon, and then we fight simultaneously.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Slightly before the army, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That sounds like a plan.
Let's do it.
Everybody good with that?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
Okay.
all right. You guys let the commanders know that you're taking off this evening. Upon kind of explaining the plan to them, they completely understand. You know, they agree with the line of thinking, and you know, the camp gives you guys a pretty hero's farewell upon exiting.
I'll let whichever commander, whoever's like the most in charge after us.
I mean, they're all like pretty equal to each other because they all command their own units.
Okay, I'll inform all the commanders that I'll be messaging one person, and then they'll tell everyone else, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
because otherwise I'd have to send a lot of messages. So just to conserve.
Yeah, the captains nod and kind of accept that and
Okay.
take that as the plan.
Mhm.
Upon you guys pack up pretty lightly as well, you know, kind of leave some of your supplies and whatnot with the army itself because you don't need to carry that across the snow, and take off. I need all of you guys to roll a stealth check. Nyx with advantage, the rest of you. Phaedra very much without advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, and Trev with advantage because of your armor, but you know that.
Remembering some of this stuff definitely got tricky when all of my inventory disappeared.
Yeah. Do you not have your Plate of the Serpent stuff anywhere?
I don't.
Okay. I can get that to you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I remember generally what it does, but yeah, not the specific.
Yeah. No problem. I got that one. All right. This is a group check, so one failure will not doom you guys, but...
Oh, good.
Good.
I have a 6.
Six started off from Phaedra. All right. What else we got?
Great on a curve.
Yes, we are grading on a curve. Nyx, what do you get?
34.
Thank God.
34. All right.
Break the curve. Okay.
Nice.
And,
Armo, what do you got?
oh wait, you have to scroll right.
Okay. While he does that,
You lean your body forward.
Marlon, what do you get?
17.
17. Sai.
Big old 9.
Oh boy, guys.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, I'm the one who's clunky. Come on.
Armo.
I accidentally
15. All right. Trev.
17.
17. Whew. You guys move through the snow and across the field as carefully as you can. Luckily, it is dark, but still, some of the kind of the moonlight and the starlight does glint off Phaedra's armor every so often. So you guys take kind of special precaution to block her as much as possible from across the field. The first 10 miles or so go relatively quietly. It takes about 2.5 hours to trudge through the snow. By this point, you guys are already exhausted, and even those of you who can walk on top of it are starting to sink in a little bit, just purely due to, being tired. Marlon, you are soaked. You are
I was just going to say, I am fucking cold and tired and miserable and would understand it if you took health off of me.
No.
Actually wealthy.
And potentially wealthy. You and Phaedra both do pick up a point of exhaustion from trudging through the snow.
I think prestidigitation can be used to dry and warm you.
Yeah.
It is.
It can.
be. Yeah.
And, like, can we do that actively while we're traveling?
You can.
Can you do
It
that?
will.
I'm gonna surge again.
Yeah. No. There's no guarantee on that. Yeah, you could certainly do that, but the point of exhaustion comes a little bit less from. It's a factor of everything. It is,
Okay.
marching 10 miles through the snow. It is,
Yeah, like
That-
I can,
a lot
I
of
can, I
things.
can, I can always
That's
make myself feel warmer, but it's not gonna, and like dry myself off, but it's not gonna be enduring. It's just gonna fix the problem when it happens. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fair,
I don't
yeah.
think I can sit here and just myself the
Yeah.
whole time.
Blow dry you the whole time? No.
Yeah, for real.
no, that would be a thing that Ember can do, but
If
he is
anything-
unfortunately
if
not in your
anything-
party.
If anything, the thing that I would actively be doing during this, if I noticed that like my shoes were getting wet and soaked,
Mhm.
I think I would actively be trying to keep them warm with Prestidigit. I think that's an
And-
actual
and-
thing.
Yeah, that you can certainly do.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not going to sit here and try to get away with no exhaustion points. I get
Yeah.
why I'm wearing robes and
and-
nonsense.
And you guys are picking up 1 point of exhaustion. If you guys do get a long rest this evening, it will go away. Like you'll be fine.
Make sure my character sheets.
Yeah, Phaedra, you get it for the same reasons as Marleman, just purely because you are, dragging heavy ass armor through 10 miles of snow.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. I need new armor.
Luckily, the rest of you guys, can walk on top of the snow, so it's much less of an issue.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
That's more of a plow at the moment. Yeah. But, you guys do safely make it to what you would call the outskirts of Haspurr. And what you see, even in the kind of snow-covered landscape, is honestly beautiful, with one major exception. You see these essentially hobbit holes, kind of houses built into the hillsides. You see, streets that are maintained but not, paved or anything like that. And it is gorgeous. You can tell where the farmland is. You can tell where, kind of commerce happens. Even at this distance, those of you guys with, it's because of the snow, even those of you without dark vision can see very well. It is, there's a nice town square with a fountain that's not running. It's gorgeous, except for the miles and miles of dead trees within the village itself. They are a combination of winter dead and perhaps some other kind of factor to it. The trees are bare. Some of them look like they've been not destroyed, but injured in some way. It looks like the occupation of this village when it first happened definitely took its toll on the nature of the area itself. But besides that, it is truly gorgeous. And Nyx, the waves of nostalgia and kind of homecoming they just wash over you. Your family's hovel is closer to where you guys are coming. So if you wanted to, you could certainly lead people that way. But it's certainly not required. So you guys can either continue to skirt to the west of the village, which is getting closer to the mountains and probably closer to the actual mouth of the mines itself. You can go in if you'd like to. It's up to you.
There's no kobolds or anything there.
Roll a perception check.
No,
Can
Papa.
I give your advantage on that? Because I'm just always.
Yeah, same. Sure. Oh, Tony.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good doggo. Aw.
All recovered from the bronc.
Aw.
Super recovered from the bronc. Now
Nice.
won't leave me alone. Mwah.
19.
19.
You can see every so often dotted about the village these kind of lumps of blue that are probably kobold guards. And you see a couple of patrolling clusters as well. But what strikes you more is that the way you guys are coming in, you've avoided the main road almost entirely and have also kind of skirted some of the farmland to stay as close to the mountains as possible, just to try and reduce the amount of visibility as much as you can. But what you notice is in the fields, what would be, traditionally cropland, are those same mounds that Arnold's seen before and there are hundreds of them, thousands of them, of these kobolds, probably just sleeping within the fields themselves, ready to spring upon anything that comes up the main road or without question.
Yikes.
Within the village itself, from what you can see right now, you spot maybe 30, either stationed as guards or patrolling. There's probably more deeper in, but just from where you can see right now.
Okay. I don't know if it's super safe to go in as much as I would like to. I don't want to run the risk of a guard seeing us and waking up thousands of kobolds and ruining our plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say for now we should just continue to try and be as stealthy as possible. That's fine.
Okay. You guys continue to skirt along the west of the village. Nix, you lead them to a small hamlet in between two of the foothills. It's kind of like a bit of a canyon almost. That makes for a pretty good campsite for the evening. It's not too far from where you would assume the mouth of the mine is. You can probably get there within a half-hour walk. And it is, pretty visually separate from Haspurr itself. And you can tell just by tracks in the snow as well. No one has come this way in quite some time. You all, bed down for the evening. There's no way to start a fire. That would probably be a little bit too noticeable. But the joys of magic and whatnot, you guys are able to keep things warm, dry some stuff, get comfortable, and have a long rest as you need.
Sounds good.
Who is taking watch? I assume Trev Armo?
Yep.
Indeed.
All right. Can you both roll perception checks for me?
While you're doing that, can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
Do you guys ever get tired of being the watchman, all the time?
Nah.
Logistically, it just makes sense.
Yeah, but still.
I feel like Arno would actually like doing it because it's one of the only things he can offer.
Oh,
Oh,
No,
you are.
come on now.
Stop.
you offer us, comedic timing,
Bro,
and
Here's what I'm saying, though. I just rolled a 28 for my perception.
God damn.
That's what I'm saying. I'm good at this.
it's not like it's the only thing you're good at.
And Trev?
24.
All right, both of you. So as you guys settle in, and kind of pass a wineskin back and forth for a bit, just to try and keep warm, let's say, about maybe half a mile away, breaking the stillness of the night itself, you can hear a very loud conversation. It seems to be coming from the north, a little bit less from the village itself, but perhaps from the direction that you would expect the mine to be in. And you can hear a conversation between two individuals who seem to be walking or trudging or heading somewhere. The first one, very deep, kind of rasping masculine voice that says, if they just wanted to finish this, they already could have. You hear another voice, also masculine, but a little bit younger, say, yes, well, you understand why things are happening at the speed they are. We can't rush these sorts of things. The first one responds with, yeah, but the sooner we're done with this, the better. The sooner we can go home. You hear a kind of a longer pause before the second voice, quieter but still quite as aggressive, just says, you realize we're not going to have a home after this, correct? You hear a spit in the darkness, followed by, yes, but we can make it whatever we want it to at this point. You hear a dry chuckle when the younger voice says, seems like a lot of work, but better than what we have now, don't you agree? Yeah. Who would have guessed? Before they kind of pass you guys at a distance and continue on.
I was gonna say, are we hidden?
Yeah, you guys are very well hidden.
Okay.
And these are who that we overheard?
Good question.
So Trev and Aramil overheard these two people. You guys have never heard these voices before. These are just two individuals in the darkness talking about something.
Well,
Weird.
but like not kobolds.
No. Too smart for kobolds already.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Uh-huh.
You think they're talking about break or something, Trev?
Probably. I believe that. But not sure what to do about it.
Yeah.
Do we bother this, or do we do anything about it? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go chase him down in the snow.
Yeah, that, and I feel like we're kind of already into our plan now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that. So, well, let's just make a note of it.
Yeah, we'll
See
tell.
if it comes back up.
Cool. So yeah, you guys let it go, take note, and store it for later, let's say. Sunrise comes without incident. Through the rest of the evening, you guys did every so often hear the very faint beating of wings, not the heavy, heavy, heavy beating of dragon wings, but probably some of those flying kobolds you had interacted with before. Just sort of perhaps moving from the cave itself down into the village. Just before sunrise, the two watchmen wake everybody up and prep you guys to move. And, as the sun itself breaks, you guys head for the cave. Now, the journey there is completely uneventful. There is nothing on the main roads itself or on the road that you can see, and sticking to the foothills of the mountains passes without event. What you do notice, though, is some activity in the village itself. Looking down to the southeast, you can see some action happening in the village. Nothing concerning, but definitely it is waking up. Within about a half hour or so, you reach Nick's probably the thing that has struck you the most, besides the current state of the trees in the village, which is you've been to the Haspurr mines. You're familiar that they're there. You didn't spend a lot of time there, but you're familiar. The size of the entrance tunnel now is gigantic comparatively. This is something that's very clearly clawed its way into this and expanded this tunnel dramatically. All of you guys can see claw marks around the edges. You can see that the walls themselves are relatively roughly hewn at this point. And it must span 25 to 30 feet across. It's big. And for some of you guys, now granted, you've met dragons before, you've seen dragons before, you're familiar with dragons. For some of you guys, this is where it really sinks in that, oh, this is a big motherfucker. This ain't no baby dragon.
Yeah.
But, with the full resolve, you prepare to head inside. Anything you would like to do before entering the mines themselves?
Let me check.
No, like everyone's prepped, I think.
How long of a trip through the mines do we anticipate?
Probably several hours based on the map.
Yeah, it's a good estimation.
We should probably contact the army then and tell them to move.
Well,
Or just see where they're at.
Well, we shouldn't tell them to engage yet.
No, but at least leave from where they are,
It's going to take them probably 6 or 7 hours to march around the village. So
yeah, we should tell them now to get moving while we're about the same amount out. But we also don't want the dragon to leave while we're here.
I feel like we're going to make it to the dragon before the dragon knows that the army is there. It's going to take them double the time of us, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, we can tell them to try and get in position to attempt to wait for our signal, but obviously shit happens, but that's the goal. So.
Yeah. And we'll tell them to keep as quiet as possible.
Yeah.
But, all right.
Or
do that
tell
then.
them to look out. Well, we probably would have already told them, but tell them to look out for the murder parties.
Okay. You guys relay all the information you picked up last night. You get confirmation back that everything is a-okay within the village. That there were no, or within the militia, there were no attacks overnight, and they begin the march towards the village. With that, you guys duck into the mouth of the tunnel. Is a very polite way to put it. It's like 6 relatively normal-sized people strolling through the grand doors of a palace at this point.
Sweet.
But you're inside and ready to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Upon entrance, the first thing you notice is that the tracks with it, there are a number of different tracks in the tunnel. There are the kind of scaled reptilian feet of kobolds that are all over the place in here, kind of mussing up the dirt. There are old mine tracks as well, or minecart tracks. You don't see a cart around, but very clearly had been set up at some point in time. And no one here in the entrance. You do, I will say, those of you with very sharp eyes, so RML primarily, you do kind of looking around and getting your bearings. You do every so often catch a glint of silver or gold in the dust and dirt where a dumbass kobold has perhaps dropped it, bringing it deeper inside. But that's all you see in here. No guards, no anything like that.
Okay. I guess we keep going then.
Yeah, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You all venture in. You make it another 500-600 feet into the tunnel. The size is still kind of terrifying, but for the most part, the one thing that this is benefiting you guys is that you don't need to go down any side paths. You can tell very clearly the path this thing has taken. It is big and angry, and therefore it is easy to track where it's gone. As you're following it along, you are noticing that it does follow the old mine tracks, or the minecart tracks themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And after walking for maybe 20 minutes or so, you hear deep within the tunnel coming at you the sound of metal hitting metal, of what sounds like metallic wheels on rails, perhaps.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Is the sound coming closer or moving towards back?
It is coming closer.
Okay.
Can we hide?
Are there any carts that we can hide behind?
There are no carts here, but there is a side tunnel, probably about 150 feet in front of you, that breaks off to the left.
We go there.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys kind of mad dash as quietly as possible to that side tunnel and kind of duck in.
Mm-hmm.
Within perhaps 30 seconds of ducking in, you see coming up from deeper within the mouth of a tunnel a small orange light seems to be bobbing along. And as it gets closer and closer and closer, you can begin to hear, along with the sound of metal wheels hitting metal tracks, the sounds of gears. You can hear kind of like a squeaking of a handle, perhaps. And you hear incredibly loud cursing in a language you don't understand.
Okay.
Who would like to be in the mouth of the tunnel, kind of trying to take a peek?
Not me, because I'm shiny.
Probably either
Definitely not me.
Caramel, because I'm very. I have good stealth and my perception. So.
All right, next, let's say it's you. You peek over and you see a cart. It's a push pulley cart. So one of the ones where you have to stand on either side and kind of push and pull it. It on the back of it, deeper into the tunnel, you can see just a regular kind of like box cart attached to it. And you can tell that they are returning it to the top after delivering some booty of some kind. There are 4 kobolds on it, 2 on either side, just kind of pulling these handles up and down, trying to make this thing move faster. It looks a little old, so it's not getting the full kind of power. They're not particularly strong either, so they're just sort of hanging on for dear life as this thing slowly creaks its way up the tracks. When it comes between about 100 feet of you or so, you all can hear this, the rambunctiousness of these kobolds just cursing up a storm in a language you don't know.
Should we move these guys?
Okay.
I don't think that's necessary.
Just kind of gonna wait and see if they go past up like where we were.
Yep.
Wait for them to leave and then keep going.
Yeah.
You guys wait long enough, and sure enough, they kind of pass you by without even noticing and continue up deeper into the tunnel itself. Or back towards the entrance, I should say.
Okay. I think we should keep going and try to avoid as many of them as possible, just until we absolutely need to.
And with that, you guys begin to head deeper down as well. After probably about an hour of walking at this point, again, very easy to follow path. It's just deep.
Mm-hmm.
Trev, hang on, there's an invisible door here. Senses start to pick up.
All right.
Literally the DM's worst fucking nightmare is that ability. I know you do. It does begin to prick up, leading in the direction of a tunnel that breaks off to the west.
I would like to investigate that.
Is that on our
No, it is off the path to a certain extent. Roll an investigation check.
15.
15. Okay. You can find the fake door. You can tell that it is a sliding door into the woodwork itself. You don't find a keyhole, but you do find a mechanism that probably opens it. It looks like it requires, honestly, and this is going to sound as dumb as possible, it looks like it requires a coin. It's like a coin-operated door, essentially.
Huh.
Well, I know that Nyx didn't spend a lot of time in the mine, but she was like a locksmith for the town.
Yep.
So does she recognize how this opens?
Roll a intelligence. Or whatever. What do you think memory would be?
Wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom, I guess.
No, don't pick wisdom.
No, int is what history is.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Int is what history, yeah. So, yes.
History sounds solid. Let's do history.
Well, it wouldn't be history. It would just be a natural int check.
Int check? Okay, well, it's the same mod, so whatever.
Cool.
Aha. 21.
21. All right, awesome. Not only do you recognize the lock mechanism itself, you helped build this very lock.
How do I feel?
This is the foreman of the mines, a gentleman by the name of Bertrand, requested you to, or requested your master, I should say, to build a lock that would require anybody to enter his private office to pay their dues to the company.
Wow.
It is a mechanism that operates on company coin, so technically not gold or silver, but because you know how to build it and you know how to do it, you also know how to get in without doing that dumb shit. You are able to pick the lock very easily. You know there are no other traps on the side of the door and are able to swing it open. And before you greets a work office, essentially. It is an office that would be set up within a mine for the foreman who, if they wanted to be a little bit deeper into the mine, as opposed to be out kind of away from the action itself. The room itself is still pristine. Nothing seems to have gotten in here since everything has gone bad. There are some ledgers, there's some kind of work orders, and there's a very large black onyx window that Nyx, this is unfamiliar. You've never been here before. You're just familiar with kind of how this was set up. But there is a large black onyx window that's been built into the back side of this office that seems to overlook a shaft, a straight down mine shaft that was probably put in after you left the village. You don't remember anyone saying they were going to build straight down. That's a new one to you. And peering out through this black onyx window and looking down, you guys see three things. One, a lot of money. You see gems, you see coins, you see statues, you see art, you see all of this beautiful, beautiful stuff. Probably about 300 feet down this mine shaft. You also notice within the shaft itself claw marks of something that had crawled its way out of this shaft at some point in time. And the other thing you notice is a lot of kobolds. Probably about 20 to 25 of them within that room, shoveling the gold and jewels and gems and antiques and whatnot out of this giant hole and into buckets and carts and pails that they are then pulling up out of the shaft. They seem to be moving this treasure from this area somewhere else.
Wait, how big is this?
The mine shaft itself, it's probably about 40 feet across.
Okay, because you said it's a gnome's office.
Oh yes, the gnome's office is, it's a little cramped for all of you guys to be standing in it.
Okay.
So is this like your town's treasury that they're stealing from?
Emily doesn't know. I imagine that Nyx does.
No, most certainly not. Your village is not rich by any approximation, and this is rich.
Okay.
The foreman's secret stash or something.
I don't know what this would be exactly.
Marlamin,
Yes, sir.
roll an Arcana check.
Lucky number 13. Let's see. Arcana, that's going to be a bigger number. That's going to be 25.
Oh,
Okay. So
I have, for the record, I have a plus 12 on Arcana.
Yeah,
I gathered from the math.
looking down at this mine shaft that's in a separate room from you guys. You guys are looking through what is essentially a magical two-way mirror made of black onyx. So whatever's in there cannot see you, but you can most certainly see them.
So it's not an actual window.
Exactly. Like it's a window for you guys. It probably just looks like a shiny bit of wall.
So one
to
way.
them.
So it's a what is it? A two-way mirror? One-way mirror?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Two-way
but
mirror?
I don't think they're literally on the other side, are they?
They're like on the other side and maybe 20 feet down before the actual shaft begins.
That's,
What this reminds you of most is something that you learned about years and years ago when you were learning about magical creatures and intelligent creatures and whatnot. This is probably a horde. This is probably a dragon horde of some kind. And it would appear that they are moving a dragon's old horde to perhaps a new location.
Uh-oh.
Why? Would
Because
they...
the town's probably not useful anymore.
Okay.
If they've mined everything, would they go to a new town? Is that something within a if a town ran out of stuff,
They would burn it and leave.
burn it and leave.
Okay.
They'd raise it and run.
Okay.
Okay.
From what you guys can see from here, it's hard to tell how far along in this process they are. But it looks like they still have a couple of days worth of work to do to lift all of the riches out of this hole. But getting close.
Did we tell everyone about what we heard last night?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so everyone knows that.
Yeah.
All right. Starting to think something's fishy. We might have to deal with this.
All right.
Thank you, but thank you.
Let's leave these guys and go.
Yeah, we can continue. We have this information now.
Yeah. The other thing that having this information gives you is the ability to dodge the door that would lead to that shaft. because the entrance to that shaft, it does. You notice immediately that about maybe 50 feet down the line, the tunnel does break into two. There's a large, and both have those large kind of scratch marks around them of an enlarged hole. So you now know that the one to the left leads to big hole full of gold and a lot of kobolds. The one to the right continues on the path you want to go down.
Okay, so we know where to go.
Yes, that was the benefit of doing that. Besides information.
Yeah. Let's go that way then, huh?
You guys continue to the right and continue down. About half hour, 45 minutes pass or so. You guys are beginning. Those of you who are not used to being underground for long periods of time are starting to get a little stir crazy. It's a little claustrophobic, even with these large tunnels.
How's the oxygen?
Fine. Down by yes, thank you, Craig.
God.
Oxygen's fine. Airflow is just fine. Little stale, not too bad. But the thing that you begin to notice at this point is the hair on the back of your arms starts to stand on end. Same thing with the small hairs on the back of your neck.
Particular who? Everyone? Or?
I mean, everyone that has that sort of complexion and body type. Some of you are skin not skin. Oh God, some of you are skin. Some of you are
I'm only skin.
Some of you are hairless at various parts of your body. But for those of you who are not, namely Sai and Marleman, you guys begin to notice a spark in the air, let's call it.
I think we're getting closer.
Oh, we're getting real close. I immediately go and I touch Trev on the shoulder.
There's a small little that arcs.
Look, it's magic, and I do it again.
Okay, it's only hurting you.
Cool. Are you
You're zapping?
Are you doing that? Or is that this?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Great.
this is something going on in the cave.
Well, it is a
Electric dragon.
electric dragon, so can it affect the air around it?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Electricity is one of those weird things that it travels in ways that you don't know.
You're also approaching it. You're also approaching a dragon's lair, where weird shit happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
layer actions, joy.
Yes. Hi, it's me, the DM, stealthily telling you guys there will be lair actions in the upcoming fight. It's another 20 minutes or so before you begin to hear it. And hear it you do. This deep, guttural sighing in and out rhythmically. At first, it's like a dull roar in the back of your ears, but as you get closer and closer, it begins to almost drown out everything around you of the sounds of the breathing of this dragon.
Before we got here, I would have given everybody my information that I found out about like dragons and stuff.
Yep. Yes, and because it's been a while, I'll remind you of everything that
Thank you.
you said. It is immune to lightning. It is incredibly intelligent. It is very vain. It likes gold and jewels and gems. And ancient blue dragons burrow.
And can't they like they can they'd be able to detect us fairly quickly, right? Like if it was awake.
If it was awake, certainly. Its perception is incredibly high.
Okay.
Especially in its lair. But luckily for you guys, you've entered at a time where it is asleep. You guys make it to where you can immediately see that there's a small kink to the left, and then a kind of looping turn to the right that leads to an entrance that is full of light that is glittering almost. Of light that is reflected into kind of spotches on the wall behind you. Would you like to enter directly or stop here?
I can cast Arcane Eye and send it in 30 feet to give us an idea of what we're looking at if we're worried about going in right away.
That sounds like an excellent idea in my book.
Can we also try and talk with our army?
Oh, to
Tell them we've located the dragon.
To see where they're at, too, so we don't start fighting and then a million kobolds also come. Something, I don't know.
mm, I guess, yeah.
I mean, we can, yeah.
I thought we already did that though, like to
Well, we
let the.
told them to start moving, but it'd be good to know where exactly they are because we wouldn't want to like Arnold.
A sit,
We don't want to start the fight at the wrong time.
a sit rep would be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can send a message asking for.
Yeah, it's been a couple of hours, so the response you get back is that they are within sight. As the snow has melted away during the march, they are beginning to see blue scales hiding in fields nearby.
Mhm.
They could probably make a charge right now and begin if they'd like to.
Okay. I think we should tell them to charge so that kobolds are drawn out, kind of, and then
we start, like,
engage
right
with the
away.
dragon.
Yeah, we're
I
directly
vote
in room to fight the dragon, right?
I mean, you're in a tunnel that leads to the room that the dragon is probably in.
Okay.
I vote the opposite, Emily. I think we should go for the dragon and then, like, as we are going to do that attack, we should tell them to do it. I would prefer... The only reason why I say that is because I'm worried that if the dragon were to catch wind that there's an attack going on,
Might wake up.
it might wake up and leave.
Ah.
Or might
Also,
try to leave.
If this thing's still asleep,
If we
we
get it-
can probably outstrike it pretty hard.
If we, like... I feel like if we distracted it enough, we could probably buy more time for the troops. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's got to be the opposite because they're going to still take a little bit of time. The troops are still going to take a little bit of time, right? And
Yeah, you're right.
we're like literally right here. You know?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with the
The timing.
former.
I would, we could try and just keep it simultaneous to whatever, tell them to go, and then we just go.
From the time it takes us to give the order to charge, for them to charge, for the kobolds to react, and then for someone to notify the dragon, or
Yeah,
for
you're
it
right.
to pick it up in some way, like that should
That's some
be
time.
at least a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
So if we tell them to charge and then go in on this thing when we're ready, that should be relatively simultaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. I didn't think about it like that. I thought they might be closer.
I feel like we still have time to arcane eye like quickly.
Yeah,
too.
let's arcane eye.
And before we do that, whoever knows a lot about dragons, which is Phaedra, if we're in their vicinity, will they be able to pick us up casting spells?
Not this type of dragon.
Okay.
No.
In that case, should I pull up a Fae to help us?
I mean,
Interesting question.
Say no to hell.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
okay.
the merrier, I guess.
Cool.
Just not one that uses lightning.
No,
Yeah.
certainly not.
Make sure they're on the same page vis-a-vis that. And then we good.
Gotta go ground type here. Gotta go
And I
ground.
mean, my arcane eye lasts for an hour, so I can just do that now.
All right.
All right. What are you summoning up there, friend?
Well, so we're not kicking this thing off today. I assume we're not actually, us wise, we're not fighting this thing today.
No, we'll do everything up until the point where, we say go.
Okay. In that case, I'm calling up something, but what it is, I might need to pass by you first, Gary.
All right. Just text it over to me.
I will. I will send you the
Meanwhile.
D&D Beyond link.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Arcane Eye,
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna cast Arcane Eye and
while
send
he
it in there
evaluates his option.
to let me know what I see.
Okay. You arcane eye into the room. And kind of spin around and take a look. And the things you notice immediately: one, this room is covered in gold. It is covered in gold and jewels and gems, but more gems than anything else. There's a lot of gems here, most of them uncut.
Makes sense. It's a jewel mine.
Yeah. It seems these are probably things that have just been pulled straight out of the walls and just sort of thrown into the pile for the dragon to sleep upon, which it is. And this thing is a big boy.
Like vis-a-vis smog.
Vis-a-vis in D&D parlance, it is a gargantuan creature.
So yeah, I think Smaug is not a terrible size comparison.
It's a big boy.
He's a big
Yeah.
It is, yeah. And its reach is probably pretty big. It is sleeping soundly, it would appear, upon its massive pile of goods. And it, what is this?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Craig found a thing I googled like a month and a half ago.
Yep.
And the other thing you can see is that up in the top parts of the room itself is probably 150 feet tall. This thing has very clearly been burrowing itself, kind of a nest down here.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing you notice is that up at the top, for some reason of the room itself, you can see arcs of electricity constantly between rocks up in the top part of the room. And every so often, you see small bolts of lightning coming down and striking the piles of gold and striking the piles of gems.
Do not like this. I'm just like describing everything as I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
You see no other living creatures in the room besides the dragon itself.
Okay.
And roll a perception check with the eye. Just to see if you
it's
notice.
just my regular perception. So
I know, but just to see if you notice this one last bit.
that's a 1, so no.
So no, you do not.
Sorry.
No, you do not. That's what you get in that room.
Do I get advantage because of 13? I'm just double checking.
You don't.
No, I'm just double checking.
That I do know.
Boo. Okay.
Question.
Mm.
Well, I know I'm not in the room. Is the air dry?
It is oddly humid.
Really? Because that seems like it would diffuse a lot of static electricity.
Yes, sorry, flip that. It's whichever one causes a lot of static.
It's
electricity.
extremely dry.
Very, very dry.
Okay.
Dry and stale.
I wonder what that would do if I were to say raise the humidity of the room.
Yeah, anyone got ideas? Do we just cover this motherfucker in dirt or something?
Ground type Pokemans. We all know the rules.
The human humidifier.
The Marleman Sea Battle. The human humidifier.
So for the thing I just sent you guys, for the size comparison, just so you know, Demogorgon was huge.
Oh, great. Beautiful. All right. Yep.
And this says,
It's fine.
oh boy. Oh, okay. It's approximate to the size of a giant sandworm. Understood.
Well, a giant purple worm, one might say.
Specifically, a giant purple worm.
Oh, we've already fought one of those guys, haven't we?
Fought a baby.
Fuck.
Who's this huge girl?
Don't know, just some giant thing.
No, that's her name, Emily. It's huge. Her name is
Oh,
huge.
that is actually just a giant. That is a storm giant, I believe.
Probably not a class. A race.
No, you cannot be a giant.
Damn.
I know. No, you cannot do that.
Let me go hard the other direction.
You could be a half giant and be a Goliath one day, but we can talk about that later.
You'd be a half Goliath, which sounds awesome.
A half Goliath is even more terrifying. What the fuck that would be? So, anyway.
Wait.
Anything else you guys want to do before figuring out how to enter this room correctly?
Take a deep breath, turn around, and walk the other way.
I mean, not that I can think of, I guess.
All right. Do you want to roll your initiative now, or do you want to roll your initiative next time?
Well, what would be better for you, Gary? Would it be better if you knew the initiative before next time?
Well, no, it won't change much for me. It's more a question of, do you want to enter the room yet?
Oh.
Fuck yeah, man! Let's set this shit up. Let's
Yeah,
do
let's
this.
do it. I'm rolling.
All right. I
We
need
all-
Hold on, real quick. Go ahead, Gary.
if you're going to do so, I need all of you to roll a stealth check.
Oh lord.
Wait, for
Clink,
stealth
clunk, 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 clunk.
Great. It's fine.
Well,
Stealth first and then initiative.
Correct. Stealth first.
you know what? No, Gary, I'm gonna use one of my my points here.
Good
And
idea.
Give me advantage on this.
All right. Go ahead.
I believe
Yeah.
that's a thing I can do with my sorcerer points. Correct?
I can't remember, but maybe.
God damn it.
I should know this since I've been playing a sorcerer as well.
I know. I
can't
never do
remember.
this. So.
Yeah. It's not a thing I use those points ever for.
Oh, you don't use that either?
I use them for a twin spell. Ember likes to shoot finger guns.
I'd like to
Snowball.
talk to you about your sorcerer at some point.
Oh, he's a joy. I love my dumbass.
Is that the word for it, Gary?
He's such an idiot, and I love him. You cannot do that now.
Oh, I thought I could do that. No, yeah, it's the luck.
Not, it's not sorcerer points. It's wild magic sorcerer. You can bend luck or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
And then there will be a reset that involves wild magic at some point.
Yep,
there will be a wild magic at some point that I will call on you. But yeah, you can
That's
totally
fine.
do that.
I need to do this. So. that
Oh,
gives
hang
me-
on.
What is that? How does it work? How does it work?
When another creature you can see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, not yourself.
Uh-huh.
Really?
When another creature, that is
No,
the
I know,
exact
but I
way
feel
it's written.
like I feel like I've done this before. Maybe we just did it wrong then.
It's possible. It wouldn't be the first thing we've done wrong.
Wild magic is a fucking beast of its own thing.
Yes, it is written when another creature you can
Okay.
see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. So you can certainly use it to save whatever Phaedra's shitty ass roll is going to be.
Ha!
It's not inaccurate.
Might be better than mine.
Oh boy.
What's
Come
the
on,
name of
guys.
that thing called? Is it the Tides of Chaos, right?
It's Tides of Chaos Bend Luck.
Jeez, I even remember the name. Good lord. I need to get this shit out of my head.
I don't think you ever could. All right, so going from the top there, Aramil.
14.
14, Nyx.
Yo, right here.
A billion.
Starting at first level, during the Tides of Chaos specifically says, starting at first level, you can manipulate the forces of
there he
change
is,
and chaos to gain
Yep,
advantage on one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Bend Luck, you can use it. Bend Luck, you
I
can
can
use on
spend
someone
2.
else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on somebody else.
Yes, and you just have, and you just can do this once per long rest.
That is
You
correct.
I should be using. All right, good to know.
I know.
Um,
See, we
so
all
yes, give
learned
her-
something new today, so I'm going to
Yep.
reroll. Hold on.
Give yourself more. Next, you got a 20. You said.
Oh god,
29.
29. Got it. Heather.
it rolled straight off the tower.
8.
God, didn't get me anywhere.
Sai.
It is better than mine. 7.
Great. Trev. Trev.
Oh, right. 17.
17. Marlon.
12.
Not the worst in the party. However, as you guys are creeping
We all
towards-
fail.
as-
Also, can I, for the record, say that if we're engaging, that we told the army to engage?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that certainly happened.
Okay. All right. So hang on. I need to mark another spell slot then for that.
Yeah, go ahead. As you guys approach the room, some of you guys are being incredibly, incredibly careful to monitor your footsteps, make sure you don't trip. You know how bad it would be if this thing wakes up. But as Sai is finishing his incantation for his fae,
God damn it.
and goes to walk into the room, what he doesn't notice is a smaller pile of coins right by his right foot. And
Oh,
motherfuckers,
geez.
you just kick that thing like it's not even there. The coins go everywhere. They spray into the room. They hit a larger pile of coins, which begins to shake a bit and make a bit of noise. What's worse
Putting
is
that
that
all on
as,
me, Gary.
as you do that, Phaedra turns around and looks at you and goes, "Dude, what?"
Phaedra turns around and goes, "Be quiet!"
Basically.
I feel like I wouldn't, but okay. I feel like it's
Yeah.
me tripping into stuff rather than yelling out loud in
I
a
mean,
dragon lair.
whichever way
I
you
mean-
want to say that you made an 8 level of noise versus size
Sure.
7
I mean-
level of noise.
I'm just saying, like,
No, I
factors
feel like
that are not in my control versus me talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all at high stress level right now, though. and
Yes.
That would totally be something Phaedra would do. Like, not even thinking about it, you know?
It's like, no. Just like just something reactionary.
Yeah, no,
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Craig.
This is
Almost
all I'm envisioning.
basically. Exactly. And as you guys stop and take a breath and look, you see one scaly eye open, and its head begin to turn towards you all. And we'll pick up from there next time.
Okay.
cool.
The surprise round unfortunately ruined due to large amounts of treasure, but
Do we
It's
roll?
okay, I've got plans for that treasure.
Should we roll initiative now or next time?
we'll pick that up with initiative next time.
Okay.
All right. We end this.